Hey, this is Suze B, and we are shooting for Ironman magazine today. We're behind the scenes actually with Steve Orton, IFBB Pro. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hey, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to lately?
Well, I competed at the start of the year at the Arnold's, made my pro debut. So since then, really, I've been focusing on my business side of things, team ops and getting competitors ready for competitions.
Now, I want to go a little bit back to that. You actually started your pro career how long after you actually got your pro card?
Exactly 6 days later.
Because you actually got a special invite, didn't you? Can you tell us a little bit about that? On the night that you turned pro, you got a special invite to compete the weekend after, right?
Yeah, that was from Tony Doherty, so I'd like to thank him once again for that opportunity. I won my pro card at the NZ IFBB Pro-Am in March, and a week later I was able to make my pro debut at the Arnold Classic Australia. Yeah.
And you didn't look a single bit out of place on that stage, right?
I like to think so, yeah. It was great fun, and I got to actually stand up there with my idols, but then effectively my idols became my competition on that same night, so I felt right at home up there.
Yeah. Can you tell us, Sam, what's some of your motivation behind your posing routine as well? Because you just pulled that out right on the night.
Yeah, well, posing hasn't been my forte over the years, you know what I mean, but I sort of, I was confident going in knowing I also had an extra, I think it was about a minute or a minute and a half to pose on the pro stage. At amateur level it's kind of around that sort of minute mark, and in pro level it's 3 minutes. So I didn't want to, I knew the posing was effectively judged at the Arnold Classic, so I wanted to really make a mark there, and pull out a few signature poses, so to speak. Yeah, I actually made it up on the day itself. Yeah.
So we're all dying to know, when's the next time you're going to be competing?
Well, after speaking to Mo Masawi last night, the New Zealand president, we're going to aim for the Louis Ferrigno Classic on the 28th, 29th of October, and then 2 weeks later the San Marino in Italy, and then we'll kind of go into a little off-season phase over the summer, and then jump back on that Arnold Classic Australia stage.
Fantastic. So that's the end of this year, about sort of October, November time you'll be?
Yes, October, November. So I'll probably be starting prep in the next sort of 2 months.
Fantastic. We can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention about Team Ox. Can you tell us what this Team Ox is about?
Team Ox is just ultimately my personal training and contest prep business. So the whole part of the team is to create a following, like this community, so where we all can support each other and feed off each other, and just lead into shows, and just create a good all-round sort of atmosphere for the athletes and the clients. Cool.
Now, you are the Ox, is that right? How did you get that name?
It goes back a few years ago when I competed in Australia, and had a few friends over there and stuff like that, and they said to me they wanted to find me a nickname, you know what I mean? And they'd seen me train in the gym over those weeks, and sort of caught up on the strength aspect of my training. So it sort of went hand in hand, the whole sort of theory, you're as strong as an ox, and that kind of rhymed in with my last name Orton, so Steve Ox Orton. Oh,
was that kind of what was behind your piercing on your nose as well?
Yeah, I like to, just a little bit.
I like the branding there. Now, I actually went to a really important website to ask some official questions from you. It's a kiddies website on facts about oxes. Okay, so if you could answer the following questions, we can work out if you're actually an ox. Okay, so Is it true that you come from the South Island where the climate is extremely cold? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Is it also true that in captivity, you must be around really heavy bars to continue?
Yes.
Wow, that's already 2 out of 2 there, guys. I don't know where this is going to, but my third question could really confirm it for us. Is it true that you like to eat green stuff?
Eat green stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because oxes are herbivores. 3 out of 3, you're definitely an ox.
I'll claim that.
That was a very important moment. Now, today we're actually shooting a leg workout. So could you tell us a little bit about because this is your actual leg workout. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants legs like yours. Like, can I just show them? So what are the main things that you do in your workouts when you're focusing on legs, and what sort of rep range do you do? Can you give us a bit of a background on that?
Yeah, so currently, generally speaking, I like to pre-fatigue a lot, and do all my compound movements towards the end of the workout. I usually like to split my legs up as well, train quads on one day, and then the hamstrings, glutes, sort of calves on a separate day. Repetition range is generally high, nothing lower than 10, and it can range from 10 almost up to 50 to 100 reps, depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm a big feel sort of trainer. If I'm not feeling it, I won't do it. You know what I mean? Typically, last week I actually went heavy for the first time in months. I was just in the zone and just went for it. But once again, generally it won't be any lower than 10 reps per set.
Wow. Okay. And what are some of your favourite moves that you do? Like you said, you split the two up, your hamstrings and your quads. What are some of your favourite moves for both?
Exercise-wise? Mm-hmm. I like to try and legs from as many angles as I possibly can. Focus on tempos, isometric holds, squeezing, and just moving the weight with intent, So not moving it for moving it like sake, so to speak. At the end of the day, you really can't go past a squat. Lately, if you've been following my sort of social media and Instagram, I've been doing a lot of overhead squats lately, and front squats.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would be like sort of the core compound movement that I would like to do. In terms of leg pressing, that's the higher rep sort of stuff for me. I like to do short reps, sort of full range, half range sort of reps. And then as I lead into competition and stuff like that, I start bringing in more of my lunging types of movements, engaging the glutes, the hamstrings, so to speak. But variation is the key for me, so not one workout is ever the same.
Oh, I see. So how many moves do you tend to do per workout?
If I was to do a typical leg day, we'd be looking at about 6 exercises. And then if I was to do like a hammy and glute day, I'd kind of be looking at four hammy and sort of 2 glute. Mm-hmm. And I sort of throw calves in the off season a couple of times a week. But pre-contest, I kind of just leave them alone, and the cardio does the talking for them. So, yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of insight into what you're going to see in this next Ironman edition?
I'm going to show you a few of my variations where I like to do from certain angles, raising my heels, different foot positions, and stuff like that really. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys that very soon. That's
really cool. Now, just to leave us with a little bit of yourself, can you tell us the sort of noises that you make when you're going really heavy? Is it kind of like an ox? Like, no? I'm kidding.
Yeah, just the normal grunting side of things, I guess. I'm actually quite quiet in the gym, I don't like to make too much noise, but yeah, I like to count a bit sometimes, and say like sort of power words, like strong, or or motivational sort of things like that. Like maybe like in my head, just think of my competition, or a goal, like leading into this. My last prep for the New Zealand Pro-Am, all I said when things got tough was pro. I just wanted that pro card so bad.
Can you show us what's actually on your bracelet? Because this was just done a few weeks ago, I heard. What does this bracelet say?
It just says IFBB Pro. So my girlfriend Kaylin brought me this bracelet as a present when we first got together, actually, for my birthday. And for the whole year, I didn't know what to engrave in it. And then as soon as I got back from Australia this year, that was it. I knew exactly what to engrave on there. So it's the first thing I did. Went into the mall and got it engraved.
Oh wow, that's really special.
Yeah, it means a lot actually. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I can't wait to see your workout.
Thank you very much. Yeah.